Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. Hey everyone, welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, and I thank you so much for being here. All the gratitude in the world. I would love the opportunity, if you find this valuable, to like and share and comment, and make sure you follow all the social media trends, subscribe to the channel and all that kind of good stuff. And today we want to talk about, it's a Friday today, and I want to talk about removing the stress from your life. And what better time that we have than having Ron, who specializes in this, join us on the Pirate Broadcast. We bring interesting people doing interesting things. And thank you so much for being here, Ron. I appreciate your time and your effort and the things and the gifts that you share today. How are you doing?
I'm great, Russ. And one of the things I want to let your audience know right off the bat, that unless you get stress under control, you're never going to reach your potential, your goals, and the happiness you want for your life and the success in your business.
Well, we can't operate at 100% if we're all stressed out and distracted. For myself, stress is a distraction. It's like you're thinking about 10 different things at one time, and you're thinking, okay, how am I going to get all this done and everything else? And it just adds to it. And sometimes we need tools, and I want you to share some of those tools today with us to reduce and remove the stress from our lives. So, it causes a lot of things, and maybe you can share those with us.
One of the things that's interesting about stress, and you touched on it just a little bit, and that is when we're in a constant state of stress, our body's very resilient. So physically, we adapt, and we don't even realize we're in stress anymore. And most people are familiar with the stress response. It's that fight, flight, freeze mechanism that's hardwired into our brain. And it comes from caveman days when there was real physical threats to us. But now that mechanism is triggered by mental and emotional stress. So it's something is always there, and we have to be aware of it. If we're aware of it, we can then get it under control.
Well, right now, there's a lot of people that are under a lot of stress. Things are really in motion. There's a lot of change going on. And a lot of people get stressed out when they don't necessarily know what's coming next. When the environment's evolving and changing, and, tomorrow may be something else. And realistically, that it causes a lot of stress in today's environment for people, right?
Absolutely. Before we were in this current situation that the world's dealing with, there was a lot of stress, just trying to keep up, focus on the bottom line. And this current situation has elevated that. I mean, it's taken it to a degree that I don't believe any of us could imagine.
No,
so it's
incredible.
Yeah. And it's something that we all have to deal with. And you hit the key words perfectly when you said uncertainty, because when we're in a state of uncertainty and we're in a state of stress, research shows that the brain can only focus on vulnerabilities and weaknesses. When you're stressed, that's just not the place you want to come from when you need to make decisions about your business or your life.
Okay, so realize that stress is present. We understand that the environment is very stressful, and it promotes a lot of stress triggers for many people. So what I want to kind of share with the audience is some of the tools we can use in order to maybe transmit some of that stress into a different mode, maybe remove some of that stress from our lives. And I know that you do some exercises and you go through some processes that can remove that or at least reduce it. So talk a little bit about that, and then I want to go through an exercise that we can actually reduce and remove some of the stress in our lives.
I'd love to. It's getting rid of stress. You just can't overemphasize it. And one of my favorite go-to exercises, I affectionately call it the 60-second stress buster. And what it is, it's a combination of breathing and visualization. It's real simple. And research shows that in this 60-second exercise, 95% of the people will feel better. They'll feel that physical and mental stress back off. So let me explain it. Let me explain it. and I'm kind of excited to take you through this because it is just that powerful. Excuse me. Now, this process literally has been used for the last couple of years to train elite military organizations and police forces around the world. Anytime there's a crisis situation, especially where they have to be armed, you want them to be focused, clear, and be able to make good decisions. So it's been used successfully for years. The process is really simple. You're going to breathe in through your nose to a 4 count. And when you do that, you want to see that air coming through your nostrils and going into your lungs. You then hold it in your lungs to a 4 count, see it circulating around. And then you exhale 4 count. And again, through your nose, and you see that air dissipate in front of you to a 4 count. So that's just about 16 seconds. We're going to repeat that 4 times, and that's going to give us about that 60-second window there. Now, I'll take you through this exercise, but before I want you to become aware of your thoughts.
I'm ready to start.
Where are your thoughts right now? Are your thoughts racing? Are they frantic?
No. And are you familiar with Wim Hof too?
No.
Okay, so Wim Hof is he believes in the breathing technique. So I'm familiar with breathing, and that's what I use already. In a lot of times, is just like when you're feeling when your mind is cluttered and you have too many things going on, I just have to stop. And it's part of meditation too. You know, a lot of people meditate as well. And it's just slowing things down and realizing that everything around you, it's not necessarily as important and critical as you think it is when you're frantic. You know, you have to kind of center yourself again. It's kind of how I feel. That's the words I use anyway. That's my ability, and that's how I focus on it. So,
you know what, Russ, you're way ahead of the game, because it is the key. Being present and focused. And when you're present and focused, you can tap into the energy and the power in the moment. That's the only place you have any ability to create anything. The past is gone. We can't do anything with it. The future is out there. And though you want goals and project some good things for your future, you can't worry about that either. Our only place where we have true power is in this present moment. So my goal every day is to be present and focused, not to think about what I'm going to say next to you, but listen to you and really hear what you have to say, so it can be a true interaction. And that's my goal with every experience every day. Now, I be honest, I'm not telling you that happens in every experience every day, but that's the goal.
Sometimes it gets away from us, right?
It can. And that's why these simple tools that neuroscience and quantum physics have actually researched are very valuable, because literally in 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, you can really change your whole mindset and your frame and get back into that moment.
Yeah. So walk us through this process. I mean, is it repeatedly breathing in the 4 count, in, releasing?
It's actually a combination. It's actually a combination of the breathing and the visualization. You know, the breathing, you're going to focus, and then the visualization, it's forcing you to put all your attention on this exercise. So it's taking your attention away from your thoughts, away from your body. So at that point, you're focusing, and everything, the resistance is gone. The mental and physical resistance is gone. So you can truly relax.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Now, I mentioned.
And when you're thinking about the breath and you're visualizing that process,
Mhm.
then you have to you kind of remove other things that are distracting you and creating stress. And then once you get reset, is kind of the way I would think about it, is once you reset, then you can actually pick up what needs to be done next.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
Yeah.
unfortunately, we've never been taught how to train our mind. So our mind habitually goes to these random thoughts that are just floating by. And a lot of times,
Yeah.
if we catch on them, they may be a negative thought, and all of a sudden you're feeling pretty crappy because your attention's gone to this negative thought. So this helps us the exercise helps us pull that attention away from those thoughts to allow you to control where you want to go. And let me tell you where you really want to go with this. Once this creates that focus and presence, your mind is still. That then allows you to use your intuition, your intuitive wisdom to solve problems, to get you where you want to go. So that's the goal. That's where you want to make your decisions. And one of the things I teach once we get the stress under control is intuition on demand. How to use it in your life to solve problems.
Intuition on demand. I want to dive into that a little deeper and unpack that. Intuition on demand, because a lot of how we drive our lives is around how we feel about it, correct?
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
is that the direction? When we have all this noise in lives and everything's going on and it's just cluttered, we really can't listen to ourselves. We can't listen to what we're feeling. And I was talking to Dr. Joan Rosenberg yesterday, and we were talking about these feelings. They're just feelings. Sometimes they're not us. They're just noise in our head. And sometimes we just need to reset and think about what we're doing and how we're doing it. And I think this is so important that we're having a conversation, because there's a lot of people that aren't feeling how are they feeling about something, as particular subject or a circumstance.
Well,
So
see,
when you're breathing, you're going through this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say my understanding of feelings is it's essentially what's been referred to as our emotional guidance system. Mm-hmm. If we're feeling bad, that means we're out of alignment or out of harmony with that topic or something related to it. If we're feeling good, that means we are in alignment. So what I like to do is take your intuition, use your intuition to help you with for example, if you have a business decision to make, and you may have 2 or 3 proposals you're looking at, and you've analyzed the data, and you want to do that, you want to use the analytical as well as the intuitive for your decisions here. But you're still not sure. You got to trust your gut. Yeah. But the way you trust your gut is by getting calm, getting present, using a stress-reducing exercise to get what you talked about earlier, getting present and centered. Then you can listen to your intuition. Yeah. And they show when you use this approach that your success could be as high as 87%. Oprah, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, they all give credit to their ability to use their intuitive wisdom to get them to where they've gone today.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, I want to take a little second and check the comment today, and Stephen, let's see. Stress is a killer indeed. Yes, Stephen. There's a lot of people, and I think stress also has a way of manifesting in physical form, a lot of times. And we really have to understand that it's not necessarily what we want to do. Good morning, your name is still not displaying, Lori. I'm not really sure what that setting needs to be. If anybody has any ideas what setting that needs to be, share in the comments so we can actually allow Lori to show up here in all her wisdom. Selma, good morning, Ron. We need more heart-centered people. I totally agree with you. I believe that if we were all a little kinder, life would be so much better. Have a little empathy, have a little consideration, and patience. I think we would find a much better outcome. Combination deep breathing and punching someone. Or something. Let's say something, Steve.
Yeah.
Defocus of thought. I like that idea. Defocus of thought. Okay. I like that, Andrew. We have Brian. Brian's a pirate. How you doing, Brian? Hope you're well. Happy Friday. Hi, Russ and Ron. And then Steve says, isn't DQ your body constantly hurt? So some of these things that we're talking about are stress. And if you're joining us, thank you so much. If you're watching the replay, I have gratitude in the world for time and effort. And talking about stress is absolutely important in this day and age. And there's so many things, there's triggers that people have, and there's so many things that are outside influences that we allow to impact our lives directly. So, Ron, why don't we go through some of the steps on this process in this exercise, and maybe just take seconds and kind of is it just what we did, or is there more to it, or explain what would we want to consider doing on a regular basis?
Sure, absolutely. Let me take you through the exercise first, if I can. Then on the back end, once you see and feel the power of it, let me explain, how you can use it to really benefit in your day-to-day activities. The process I mentioned, again, we're going to breathe. So two things. Let's start by being aware of your thoughts. Or how fast are your thoughts going? Are they fearful, positive, angry? Are you thinking this guy's crazy? It's never going to work. Hey, whatever your thoughts are, it's okay. Don't try to change them. Next, scan your body real quick to see if you're holding stress. Everyone holds stress somewhere different, maybe in your forehead, back of your neck, your shoulders, your chest, abdomen. Again, just scan. Don't try to change. Let's take one clearing breath, and then I'll actually take you through the exercise. So breathe in through the nose and let it out. If you're in a safe place, you can do this eyes closed, but it works eyes open as well. All righty? So everyone, let's breathe in through the nostrils to a 4 count. Ready? Breathe in. See that air coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out through the nostrils. 2, 3, 4. Hold it out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold it in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold it in. Breathe out. Hold it out. One more time. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold it in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe it out. 2, 3, 4. Hold it out. 2, 3, 4. That's just about 60 seconds. Now, the first thing I want you to do is pay attention to your thoughts. Have they changed? Are they different? Next, scan your body. Has that feeling body
I'm relaxed.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Russ, one of the things I do, I recommend to my clients that they use this throughout their workday. Set your phone for about every 2 hours if you can. And literally when that timer goes off, stop. Do this exercise for 60 seconds and do it for 2 hours all throughout your day. One of the things a lot of my clients will tell me after doing this 3, 4, 5 days, and everyone's a little bit different, that in the mid-afternoon, There's no longer that afternoon slump. And back in the days when most of us were still commuting back and forth to work, they found that at the end of the day, they still had plenty of energy to go home after work and prepare their meal,
Yeah,
spend time with the family, work out. So it really regulates. The more you do it, it regulates your whole stress function. Now, let's be clear. Stress never goes away. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be
yeah,
stimulated by that flight, freeze response. But this is a tool to get it under control, so it has a less and less impact on your physically, mentally, and emotionally.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think, like we started out with, Ron, I think it's important that there are others that show up in your life are much worse than the stress that you're feeling right now. There's physical manifestations that go through it, and it's just not an emotionally healthy place to be in. And just remove that stress from your life. Everything will reduce and slow down, and you can think clearly, and you can imagine a much better outcome on almost everything. That's my experience. So, your outcome may differ. I don't know. However, I just want to make sure that everybody has the tools and think about the process of removing stress from your life. Because, like you said, Ron, it's so important, it's so critical. So, what are some other considerations we want to think about?
Well, the one of the things that is valuable, real valuable with this technique is to work it into your morning routine. Now, many of you may have a morning routine. Some of you don't. If you don't, I suggest you use one. It's a good habit to start your day. For example, mine's
Yeah,
pretty simple. I get up. Gonna go to the bathroom. I'm going to sit down. There's a little book I read, a little thought of inspiration. Then I go into the breathing exercise. After the breathing exercise, I'm calm and focused. I set my intentions for the day. What do I want to accomplish? If you in a situation where you then can do a little exercise, whether it's walking for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, yoga, whatever you can do. So this is the way I start my day. And then I'm still commuting, working with a client. So in that commute, focus on the goals I want to achieve for the client for that day, to be present, to be focused. That sets an energy up for my entire day.
mm-hmm.
So I suggest you use the
Yeah,
60-second breathing exercise there. And then again at the end of the day, just to let go of any stress or tension that you may have picked up. So it's habits, Russ. Once we get our mind trained and we get focused on these little routines, you'll be amazed at how it shifts our day, our productivity, even in this current situation where there is a lot of
yeah,
uncertainty.
yeah. Well, and we talked about people in the military and force and everything else. I mean, that's a high stress job. That's a high stress environment. That's you know, there's nothing more stressful than thinking you're gonna be shot at some point in time. And so I think if we take it apart and we kind of break it down a little bit, so we covered the idea that just remove the stress by, or at least remove the triggers of stress. The stress may not go away, but the triggers and your perspective of that moment is going to help you remove some of the stressors in your life. And then we talked about the idea of doing it on a regular basis and continuing to practice it to be, like I say, stay centered and present. So you can think about on what's the next thing I have to accomplish? What's the next most important thing that needs to be completed? What's the next most important thing that I have to focus my attention to? What's the emergency that has to be removed from the equation? What can I do to make a difference right now? Not necessarily what happened a week ago. Don't be frustrated with that. Don't be frustrated with the things that you got to do next year. What's the stress right now? So removing that, focusing on what has to get done. And then also, I think that for people to understand, the stress isn't going to go away. How did it? needs to change. So I appreciate you stopping and helping us out on what we can do to improve our lives.
Well, and what you mentioned, Russ, you're absolutely right. The stress isn't going to go away. The indecision isn't going to go away. And we're in a state of tremendous change right now. And I look at this whole situation. Yeah, there's a lot of negative information being put out there, but I look at this as a time of tremendous opportunity. We couldn't continue as a society the way business. Let's pick on business for businesses had a tendency to focus just on the bottom line at the expense of everyone. And one of your listeners commented about being heart-centered. I believe this is where this whole situation is going to take us. And I don't know if it was really our fault to get to the point where we've gotten. There's a lot of pressure from stockholders. Hey, I want profit. I want dividends. I want value. So businesses make decisions. They're kind of forced into these decisions, but at times they're doing it at the expense of the employees, at the expense of their vendors, even their customers in some. I believe we're evolving to a point when we come out of the other side of this, wherever that is, that we're being more heart-centered. That's where we're being pushed. There's no reason that every business can't take care of their employees, take care of their customers, take care of their vendors, and reach out to the community and support the community. When I grew up, and I'm going to date myself here, about 40 years ago, maybe a little more, that's the way the world was. If a neighbor had an issue, everyone on the block came over to help. What can I do to support? Whether you bring them some food or watch the kids, and we've gotten away from that. We've become too impersonalized because of this digital age. And I believe that we're going to come out on the other end, getting back to being heart-centered. For business to be successful, you can't be bottom line focused in the future. You're going to have to become heart-centered, be community-centered, become people-centered. And that's where we're going.
Well, the other thing about this, Ron, and I think is so important for us to share today is that you can stress in life and you can remove some of the triggers that are causing you unnecessary stress. You can actually have a little more compassion and empathy and resilience. I think that's really what we need in society, is the ability to react and respond to, we're all unique. We're all individuals, and we all have a unique presence and a personality and everything that goes along with it. We all have needs and desires that are unique to us as well. And if more people understand that having a little patience, empathy, and also continued growth in an area of our ability to understand each other and work together and have a little kindness in the world, I just think that, like you said, it would be much better for everyone. The individuals, the companies that are having to adapt and change, the ones that never had any kind of idea that they would have remote workforce out there, and they would have a team of remote workers everywhere. They're having to do that now. They're forced to do that, and they're finding out that it's not the worst in the world. Everybody wants to do the right thing for the most part. And if you send somebody home to work and their job and they're productive, they're engaged, why not that flexibility to somebody so they don't have to sit in traffic for an hour to get to the workplace. Yeah. So all these little nuances of all these little change and can cause stress could be a benefit going forward with the right perspective.
Well,
so anyway, I want to shout out a couple of people. Some more here, and what did Stephen say? Great show today. Thank you. Appreciate that. Angie is saying, hey, good morning. Compassion, empathy, and resilience. Yes, absolutely, Angie. And I know that I appreciate your time, Ron. I really appreciate your time and being here. And thank you so much for being part of the community. And now that you're a pirate, make sure that you connect with the other pirates in the community. Make sure that you're having conversations with people in a positive, kind way. And make sure that you have an opportunity to understand what other people are doing. And because interesting people doing interesting things is what the pirate broadcast is all about. The idea that we are all interesting is one of those things that we have to adapt and kind of think about and consider as we move forward in life. There are no guarantees. There are no promises. A lot of organizations are not giving away gold watches at the end of 40 years. So let's make sure that we can help each other out, support each other, and have a little kindness in our world. So any lasting legacy thoughts that you want to leave with the community here, Ron, today?
Russ, you summed it up really, really well. Stress is, I believe, the key right now for all of us to reach those goals that you just mentioned. To become heart-centered, to be kinder, to be gentler, to understand, how powerful reducing stress is to get you clear, to really be who you are. I believe everyone wants to come from their heart. One last thing I'd like to offer to your audience, if you like that exercise we went through, you're welcome to getting a free copy of it. I have a free video. You can get, and this is going to be the easiest URL you'll ever remember. It's goldentrailcoaching.com/gift. It's goldentrailcoaching.com/, and I have a video that walks you through the same breathing exercise that we've done, and you're welcome to it. And it's absolutely free.
Included in the show notes. And the show notes and the podcast and the show and the transcription can all be found at russjohns.com. So I thank you so much, Ron, for this, and I hope you have a fabulous weekend. And, as part of the pirate community, continue to make connections and friends and engage with others and share a little kindness, because you know what? Kindness is cool. Smiles are free, and you enjoy the day. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Russ. Bye-bye now.
Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.